So launching a course is a whole process, and you might be at a different stage right now, but wherever you are in one of the 4 phases of launching your course. And so what I want to do in this video is that I want to show you each of the phases, what you need to pay attention to for each, and how to successfully go about the whole process and the 4 phases and make the most impact and splash with the launch of your course. Alright, so phase number 1 is the research or the pre-launch. So if you haven't sold any courses yet, this first phase is going to be the research phase. This is when you put most of the course content outline together, and when you start to get, the elements that are going to make the product the best it can by actually asking your audience, your target people that may be interested in buying the course later. But if you already have a course, then this phase can just be called the pre-launch. And really during the pre-launch, what you want to do is mostly you're going to be just building your list. That's mostly what you're going to be doing, because this is the people that you are going to, promote your course to when the time comes a little later. This is where you put out a lot of content and you nurture kind of like your audience, you nurture and grow your audience that when the time comes, you're going to be able to promote to. And this phase actually should not be neglected, because this is really going to be the predicament of your sales. And when it comes time to launch, if that launch is actually going to be successful. Most of that is actually determined during the pre-launch and during the time in between your launches. So you really don't want to just, go silent during your pre-launch and only come out of your cave or when it's time to sell the course. No, you want to keep putting out content, keep, being this authority, keep giving value to your audience at any time, and especially during this, this pre-launch where you really have nothing to sell them. Phase number 2 is the pre-launch. Alright, so now we get into the pre-launch, and this is usually around 30 to 40 days before the launch date. So now you have a you kind of know when, in your calendar, the launch week is gonna be, and now you start to get into that phase 2. And so during that phase, you are still gonna put out some content, but it's gonna be a lot more intentful. It's gonna have a lot of purpose, and what I mean here is that this is where you really need to show up. This is where you actually need to, do a lot of lives. You need to get as close as possible to your audience, the personal touch, the unscalable kind of things, because this is when you want to jab the hardest before the hook, which is going to be when you launch. And so depending on which strategy you're going to use for the actual launch, then this pre-launch phase might look a little different for you. But generally, it is going to be a lot of content. And again, a lot of content leading up to the launch. So that content is actually going to be mostly about, unraveling the common objections that people have around your topic. You're going to want to put out as much value as possible, and also start challenging the way you think around your topic before actually asking for a sale. And this is very important, because we're doing this during the pre-launch so that we don't have to deal with it during the launch as much, because we've kind of prepared them and warmed them up to all of this stuff before. And so therefore the launch phase is going to be a lot easier when you are actually asking for them to, pay for the course. And so the communication channels, just emails or social media, is also going to pick up. Phase 3 is the launch. So there you are, it is launch week, it is launch day. And so now you're gonna open and launch this new offer. Okay, so this launch period is gonna last around, 5 to 7 days. And what I mean by this is that at the end of the 5 or 7 days, you are either gonna close the cart, if that's your strategy, or you're just gonna remove some of the bonuses and perks that you offered during the launch week. Because yes, you're gonna wanna have a launch offer that's gonna be special for those people. Right out the gate, when you launch a new offer, you wanna make this, you wanna incentivize them to take action now. And again, this specific phase depends a little bit around the strategy you actually use for the launch. If that's a video series, if that's a webinar style, if that's a challenge, this phase will actually be a little different. Phase number 4 is the post-launch. All right, and you thought it was over, but as I said, there is 4 phases to a launch. And this post-launch is not technically, during the launch, but it's just as important as the other phases. And this one gets neglected a little too much, because, the success of your following launch after this one starts when this one right now ends. And so there's a few things you want to do to make sure that, you keep the momentum from this launch and you make the next one even more successful. So let me break it down for you. So One of the things that you want to do is that, as promised, at the end of the launch week, the 5 to 7 days, the offer you put in place is going to end. And you're going to want to redirect everyone from this page, the sales page, to a waiting list. Because let me tell you that the most amount of people getting into your wait list is going to be the days following your launch. People that missed, the deadline, people that, came later, and so they try to get to the sales page, and it's closed, and now they see the waiting list for the next launch. And now you also want to take care, obviously, of the new people that came into the course and take advantage of this to start building, FOMO for people that didn't get in and people that are going to want to get in at the next launch. And these are the 4 phases of a launch. Let me kind of recap what these are. So phase number 1 was the pre-launch. Phase number 2 was the pre-launch. Phase number 3 was the launch. And phase number 4, but not the least, is the post-launch. And so if you're looking for the actual strategies and the tools that you're going to need for this launch, for all the different phases, then I put together the online course cookbook. And this is, again, all the strategies, all the tools, all the tech, all the platforms, but also just how to actually strategize for the launch successfully. And I put together this cookbook for you. And all you have to do is just click the link in the description. I'll send that to you for free. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.